Legacy Inferno is one of the last characters that I would have considered to have a genius design, but some of the elements that go into this figure are so smart that he may have just became one of my must-have Legacy figures. Welcome back to the show, it's Gay for May. Inferno is a tall, lanky Predacon, his bright red carapace broken up by a few patches of dark burgundy, with a number of metallic blue embellishments on his waist and legs. These layered, plate-like sections of armor really sell the idea that he's integrated the insect exoskeleton into his robot body in a way that feels a little more natural than even skin and fur. His head shares that metallic blue color and features an absolutely devilish smile, and silver horns to boot. He's a real demon, and these large red eyes complete this wholly unsettling design. My man's be looking like some kind of giant movie monster come to life, like an alien or a predator. I also greatly appreciate how little visible gappiness there is. Sure, his chest is clearly hollow, but the major gaps are kept to the undersides of his arms and behind his thighs. I don't understand how this isn't a standard practice. It's such a smart compromise that keeps the character looking appealing and whole. Don't do it like this, though. Shockingly, all of the numerous spindly bug legs sticking out everywhere are solid pieces too, with no gaps in them. He actually has one too many sets of bug legs, the legs on his shoulders not appearing on either his original toy or his 3D model on the show. It's a weird quirk, highlighting how they've changed this figure from the original. Thankfully, they don't interfere with the articulation at all, as they have dedicated positions that keep them just out of the way when you're posing Inferno. His articulation is phenomenal, actually, having the typical range of motion you would expect from a Voyager, but including double-jointed elbows and knees, in no small part thanks to his transformation. And speaking of small parts, he has these teensy little hands that look pretty ridiculous, but they do move independently from the insect legs that they're attached to. So by that metric, he's already more functional than some of his wave mates. His head's on a sweet little ball joint too. Amazingly, his jaw opens as well, so you can recreate the maniacal laughing and screaming he does throughout the series. Or make him look like he's just busted the fattest nut of his career. It's a relatively unique piece of articulation, one that vibes with the character perfectly and greatly increases his range of expression. Inferno's weapon is a large, 4-barreled blaster. What's weird about it is that it's actually the wrong weapon, kind of. Inferno usually has this pistol grip rocket launcher thing, and the included gun resembles his jet booster from his flight mode. As such, you can open up the thorax, flip out this extra slice of bug ass, and insert his weapon to recreate his flight abilities from the show. The blades even rotate too. Inferno's transformation is very simple. You mostly just fold and tuck his limbs beneath his carapace and hide away his head, almost like he's wearing an ant-shaped pelt. The thorax can be a little troublesome to convert, as you have to make sure his legs are positioned correctly before the pieces can fit together. It's also kind of weird to figure out how to stand him on his bug legs at first. I just put him down on his 2 front legs and then adjust the back legs to match them. I think that's the right way to do it. Inferno's beast mode is a big-ass fire ant, named not so for their well-documented ability to shoot flames, but for the intense burning sensation attributed to their agonizing bites. Try to resist sticking your pee-pee down there is what I'm trying to say. That's a pro tip from Gay for May. You can have that one for free. He is primarily red, of course, with 3 sets of dark-colored limbs. The 3 distinct sections of his body are covered with this bumpy skin texture, and he retains a bit of that burgundy accenting on his back and thorax. On his head, you can find some huge blue eyes as well as a little set of horns matching those from his robot mode. I could not even begin to guess what species of ant he is supposed to be, but he does seem to be more heavily inspired by his on-screen appearance in the show than anything. His antenna can wiggle, his mandibles can move, his head's got a little bit of play, his front and back legs can move in and out and up and down respectively, but his middle legs, while they kind of have some side-to-side motion, I think are mainly supposed to remain static. Scorching hot take incoming. I'm kind of glad that his legs aren't extensively articulated. That's always one of my main problems with bug formers, having to pose all of the legs. I have like the spatial awareness of a toddler playing peekaboo. That's too many legs, okay? I can't deal with this. Saying I prefer less articulation might sound like I'm asking for more Transformers that turn into bricks, but consider, most Transformers already turn into bricks. It's just that we don't conceptualize it that way since most of them also have wheels too. Something that seems kind of strange to me is that despite being able to plug into his thorax for flight mode, you can't store Inferno's blaster there in beast mode. This seems like such an obvious thing to do, and for this otherwise smartly designed figure, this is the one foible that bugs me. Cause now I either have to find another place to store it or strap it to his ant back, and that's just not realistic, okay? But disregarding that, Inferno is is such an incredibly well-designed and well-made figure that's not only an above-average example of a Transformers toy, but one that perfectly captures the spirit of the character. I imagine many will be picking him up just to complete their Predacon lineup, but even if you're not a Beast Wars fan, you owe it to yourself to check this figure out, and I wholeheartedly recommend it. If you want to see more creepy crawly bug reviews, my infamous Legacy Kickback review is a great place to start. But anyway, that's just my opinions. Please leave yours in the comments below. Bye bye.